Do you guys know, does this picture remind you of anything? And you are muted. You can unmute yourself.
Well, the show I've been watching lately,
Me
Vikings.
too, me too. Vikings. I love this show, really.
Yeah.
And what I've been thinking, and I'm still watching it, what I've been thinking about with relation to our workshop today is in those ages, one quality was a key quality to your survival. If you had more qualities, more skills, it would make you someone like maybe a king, it would promote you. But one key quality in the men, at least, was really key to survival, which is can be defined in one word. You have to be physically strong, right? Strong. If you are not strong, you cannot survive. Well, as a warrior, let's say. There were other professions, but the movie is all about warriors. So strength was one single quality that was key to your survival. Nowadays, we are very much different, of course, and the second slide I want to show you is um, we spoke with Max, and Max is my brother, actually. He's also a professor at Carnegie Mellon University. And I remember one conversation we had with him years ago, really, when I said, hey, Max, do you think, I don't remember the context now. I said, why do you think everyone should be interested in programming? Everyone should be interested in computers. And he said, hey, you know, in the future, everyone is going to be some sort of a programmer. Some people more complex programming, they will be engineers, but some people as a users, you will still have to be very compatible with the computers and understand some basic principles of programming. So that sticks with my memory. If maybe we are not there in that future that everyone needs to be a programmer, but we still need to be very comfortable with computers and phones and whatever other means of communication we use nowadays. So my conversation about remote collaboration tools, let me go through these topics here, what I wanted to cover. So basically, everything that helps us collaborate while being remotely, like we're doing right now, is a remote collaboration tool. Phone is a remote collaboration tool. Um, email is a remote collaboration tool. And you have to be efficient with these things as well, right? But we'll probably know quite a lot about these things, so I'm not going to talk about. What I want to cover as an overview is there are some intranet systems. Like what I mean by this is things like SharePoint, Atlassian Confluence, Google Drive, which everyone can use Google Drive, and there are some chats and conferencing. Like this, these are categories as I categorize these tools. It's not like, it's not a science, hard science. I categorize tools as intranet things where you put some information and you want someone else to be able to view this information. You don't need immediate response usually with these things, but response within a day or within a week would be good. Chats and conferencing is something where the reaction is much quicker, and these tools that we use often are Slack. Slack is becoming very popular. I guess it seems to me these two are the most popular nowadays, at least in the majority of situations. Companies are using, many of them are using Teams, companies who are on Microsoft. Some companies and smaller companies, they use Google Meets, startups like using Google Meets. And then there is an old tool, Skype. If you guys have never learned Skype, you are lucky because you don't have to learn Skype anymore. Everyone feels that Skype is a thing of the past. And then there are conferencing platforms such as Adobe Connect, for example, and I have quite an extensive experience with this, which is a conferencing platform, and it is a strong one, but it's also quite expensive. So like chats and conferencing tools like this. Then some interesting tools lie on the design tools, and there is no particular sequence here. What I mean by this design tools, if you work in a company that creates software, and every company now does some kind of software, designers use Figma, but there are some other instruments like Balsamiq, for example, but Figma is definitely the favorite for designers nowadays. And these are all collaboration tools. You can work multiple people on the same screen, and each person can see each other's contributions, whoever has the permissions, of course. Then what I wanted to cover here is corporate systems, systems like a CRM. It is still a remote collaboration system because many people who, wherever they are, they enter information into the system, they extract information from this system, and similar to intranet systems, probably it's not so immediate. There is no need for immediate reaction like with chats and conferencing, but still ERP system. And then there are some miscellaneous systems like payroll, help desk systems like Jira, for example, and others. Miscellaneous tools like screenshots. This is one thing I wanted to talk about is whenever I'm having a remote conversation with someone and someone can say, hey, I don't know what button I am supposed to click right now, or I don't know how to enter into the system. I don't know what to do here. And I'm saying, okay, can you show me the screenshot of what you see? And for many people, it's a problem. While we are on the call, I'm asking them to show me a screenshot. So here is a question for the audience. Let's say I'm in a meeting, in a business meeting with you. And in a business meeting, I'm really frustrated when I see inefficient or waste of time, and everyone is, not just me. I ask you to show me a screenshot of what you see. What would be your way of doing this? Let's assume we are in a situation like this one. We are meeting on Zoom. You are struggling with something that you do on your computer, and I'm saying, okay, show me what you see. How do you show me? What are some of your ideas?
I use screenshots. Somebody I know that I admire very much, like yourself, taught me about that one.
That is for screenshots. Yes, I also use it here. It is assigned to my keyboard to a print screen button. When on my keyboard, I'm now clicking my print screen button. What we see on the screen is my mouse is ready to take a screenshot right now. And let's say I put it here and I take a screenshot like this one, okay? And it's, I can open it in this GreenShot application. There are other applications, not just GreenShot. And I can see this screenshot. I can copy it to my clipboard. It's already copied by default. I can highlight if I want to highlight some specific items, and then I copy it back to clipboard with a highlight. But what do I do next? It's still on my computer, but how do I show this screenshot to you?
Screen share. You just give them control and let them screen share.
That is a solution in some cases, in many cases, if they know how to use Zoom screen share. But sometimes they say, I don't see the button screen share. And I'm asking, okay, so what do you see? What's the solution here?
Well, you can always figure out how to do what you're doing here, do some copying and pasting into an email, and they could forward or they could put in a chat session.
Email is okay. Chat on Zoom does not allow for images. Zoom chat only allows for plain text.
Yeah, I know some of the other tools like Teams and whatnot, they do allow for that sometimes.
Yeah, so if we are already part of chats and conferencing tools, like if we are on Slack, I will post it on Slack.
Yep.
If Zoom, as I just said, doesn't work always, if a person doesn't know how to screen share, they are helpful really. Teams is similar to Slack. Yes, you can put it onto Teams. You can also use Google Drive.
Mhm.
You can go create a new document. Where is my drive? So you can create a new document, new, where was it? How do I create a new, new Google Doc. You create a new Google Doc. You paste your screenshot that you have in your clipboard here. And then I copy this URL and I paste it in my Zoom chat. Let me do it right now. Windows button plus shift. Yeah. So you guys, some guys are suggesting on in the chat how to make a screenshot. Yes. And we are now considering how to make it visible for other people. Can you access this file? I need to probably share it. Let me save it. And I can share to anyone with a link. And now, can you try it now that I've shared it with anyone with a link? Can you click on it? On the link that I provided in the chat. It took me a while. It took me like 3 minutes maybe to create this document. So maybe you can create the document in advance and prepare the sharing settings so that it's a matter of copying and pasting.
I don't see it in the chat, Natalie.
Oh, you don't?
No. The link that you said that you just copy and paste it?
Okay, 1 second.
Yeah, I don't see it either.
So share. Let me do it once again. Get link, copy link. Okay, sorry. Let me do it. Okay, do you see it now? Can you try clicking on it?
Did you paste
So
it into the
Natalie,
Zoom chat?
Into the
this is
Zoom chat.
interesting because I can see it, but the message that I'm seeing is that it's to everyone and then in parentheses in the waiting room.
Everyone in the waiting room, sorry. Everyone in meeting, it should be.
Okay. I think it's there now.
Okay, so now we're all in this document. You see what was my screenshot, right? What I the screenshot I did. Now anyone can view. So change. If I go and change from viewer to editor, can you see my screen? What I'm doing right now?
Yeah, we can.
Yeah. So I'm changing your rights, guys, so that you can not only view but also edit. Done. And now, I don't know, maybe you need to click on the link once again. I don't know if it's updated immediately. Can you now try putting some information here? Try writing. Can you try typing? Okay, so it works, yeah. So this is one way how, if I want to show you something that is on my screen, but for some reason screen share on Zoom does not work, this is one way. Maybe it just makes sense to prepare this file in advance to have it quickly handy. Okay.
And I think Microsoft and Apple probably have similar features and capabilities in their sharing tools.
Yeah, and there are also tools that not only like Greenshot, for example, what it does, it saves on my computer. So this image stays on my computer, but there are tools, and maybe there are also features with this one, which save the image immediately and assign the URL on the internet. I don't remember what the tool was, the name of it. This way you don't need a document. Does anyone know tools like this? Like screenshots. Greenshot is one. There was something else that we used to use, but we decided against it. Anyone? knows of any screenshot tools that immediately creates, put your screenshot as an image into the cloud and gives you the URL? Ken, maybe you know?
That's not something I typically need to do, so I can't help you there. I don't know.
I don't remember that name. If I remember, I will let you know, maybe on Meetup or somewhere.
Mhm.
Yeah, but it
Oh.
would be even quicker then.
Yeah, I can't say I'm familiar with any tool that does that, but I would just heed warning. When you start putting things on the internet, even though you may not think they're public, they can be easily found. So I'm putting an information security hat on, right? That says if you're going to share that way, make sure it's very innocuous information. You don't care if it gets viewed or deleted or altered in some way.
All right, yeah. And even this document, it lives only temporarily, and those, they live only temporarily, just you can always delete them once the need is not there yet, right?
True, but you also have a degree of trust when you're using, Google and whatnot, right? That there's a degree of control there, and you trust the companies because they have reputations behind them.
Yeah, that's a whole different subject.
Very
Data
different
privacy.
conversation, but still the kind of thing to keep in mind.
Okay, so another thing I wanted to touch upon quickly is meeting facilitation. What we're doing right now, if you meet with people and you need to make notes, the best way to make notes, and this is something especially for people like executive assistants, making notes during the meeting is much better than doing notes after the meeting. After the meeting, you can polish them if you want them to look nicer, but make sure you do your notes during the meeting. This way, and especially if you are sharing your screen, doing the notes as we speak. This way, everyone is on the same page, literally. And if I'm taking my notes, like for example, privacy concerns that Matt just raised. Okay, let me put it down. This was a topic that was raised. And then there is something else, screenshots saved to cloud. Let's say these are some topics that we just touched upon. If this is something I need to think about later, I may want to put it as meeting notes. And as I'm typing, as everyone is looking at them, if I did not hear something correctly, maybe I'm not exactly the subject matter experts in the topic being discussed, people can correct me if I'm making something that is not correct. So make your notes. Speaking of meeting facilitation, just as we speak. I also like using this mind map type of tools where I can quickly add subjects, and yeah, let's add here privacy concerns. I can quickly add things here. I can quickly move them around if I need to. And then after the meeting is over, what I can just do, like I just already did, I can make a screenshot, put this screenshot into the email. If let's say I want to send my meeting notes in an email, and the email shoots to everyone who is relevant, and everyone has this. No need for long documents. Everyone hates, I guess, long documents, except for people who write them. So this is a way to avoid long documents which no one reads. Okay. So meeting facilitation, also brainstorming. When you are in a brainstorming session, this is a great way to brainstorm about things. Okay, so guys, what do we want to talk about? There are design tools we want to cover. Okay, chats and conferencing tools we want to cover, intranet, anything else. And we're brainstorming, I'm adding things as we're doing this, and I'm moving them around if I need to quickly. So this is a great tool for brainstorming remotely together, okay? Meeting facility. I'm not talking about like soft skills, that is something else, of course. But the more you practice, the better you become. Drawing boards is something also, some really interesting topic here. Maybe Ken, if you can spend 5 minutes telling us about some drawing boards that you've been using.
Yeah, this again is a space I don't usually get into in terms of actually drawing on the screen or anything like that.
But like mural, for example, mural we're using, right?
Yeah, well, that's for me. That's more of like a facilitation or meeting collaboration tool. You know, so in that case, you're using things like sticky notes rather than actually drawing things, right? And there's a whole
move.
bunch of there's a whole bunch of different tools that can be used. And
like what?
oh my God! So what I'm going to do, because and honestly, I haven't looked into many of these, but let me throw a link into the chat where you can find dozens of tools that do the type of thing that you're talking about with like Mural and Miro and you know, other interactive tools. It talks about even things like mind mapping tools. You'll see there that what is it? That Sutherland, I'm trying to remember her first name. But she's got a wealth of tools that she's collected there that are definitely worth looking into.
Okay. Okay. So,
Yeah.
and Ken,
Lizette Sutherland.
for you
Yeah,
guys
that's her
to
name,
know,
Lizette Sutherland.
Ken is my role model for facilitation. If you have been to Ken's events, if you have not, I definitely encourage you to come Princeton Agility events. And if you want to see someone who you can learn from to be a great facilitator, Ken is the right person. And Marla or Ken, can you guys put the link to the meetup group, to Princeton Agility meetup group here in the chat so that people who are not yet members can join?
Sure.
Yeah,
I
I'll add it.
have it.
Okay.
Oh,
Thanks.
Yeah, we'll have to see. Maybe changing soon because we're going to change the name of the group. So, but yeah.
So another thing I wanted, so maybe a drawing board is something we can talk later at some point. Project management tools are there are some very interesting tools like Trello. I personally want to explore, I have not done yet. It's called Airtable. Has anyone had an experience with the Airtable?
Yes, actually, I have a lot of experience with Airtable.
Barbara is our star explorer. So I definitely issue a badge, Star Explorer. Barbara is great at exploring new tools. And at some point, maybe we can have a session specifically on Airtable where we can together explore Airtable, because that is something I need to do and it is becoming very popular. So maybe at some point we can do it together.
Is it really? Okay, yeah, I implemented it at my last job because we didn't have a database and a database wasn't coming anytime soon. So the way I saw it, it was like an in-between between a spreadsheet and a database.
Yeah, that's what I'm hearing, that it is somewhere in between, but also some folks are using it for project management. So let's take a look at some point. And then finally, so this was just an overview. Now I want Marla to take the screen for the polling topic, but before we go there, is there anything you want us to focus in one of our future sessions? Maybe we can talk more about Slack, or what, guys, do you think? Because we don't have that much time today. I want Marla to go through polling exercise. It's an interesting one, but let's decide together.
Or can I throw this out there as a possibility? Should we, with the remaining time, just see a show of hands if people would rather do Slack or if they'd rather do the polling today? Should we see?
Yeah, so let's
which they prefer, and then we can go with that.
Let's use this finger for polling and this for Slack. So I am on polling.
So please, I'm not going to vote.
Okay.
So we have, so this is for Slack, right? I'm saying, what are you doing, Barbara? What is that? Is that
either one?
Neutral.
So James is saying no on Slack. Natalie's saying yes on Slack. Matt's
no.
neutral.
I'm saying yes on polling.
Oh, we're doing polling.
I'm saying yes on
Marla,
Slack.
She said thumbs up was one and thumbs down was the other.
Yeah, so thumbs up is polling, thumbs down is Slack.
Polling and Slack, so I said either.
Okay, so it looks like many guys, like the majority votes for Slack. So let's do Slack. Slack is one of the tools. It has a free account, and it can be either installed in your computer. It can be also used on your phone, which helps you stay connected always. The principle is you register the Slack account, like we registered for my company, let's say Teammate Exec. Then there are people. Where are my people? There are people. I can exchange direct messages with these people or with a couple of people, let's say on this conversation, in this channel. So things are called channel. The discussions are ongoing and they're called channels. So these are the channels. We open, what we do, we open a channel, we create a channel per project. Let's say we start a new project with a client and we create a channel for this project. We add people who are participants of this particular project. So we have these 3 people on this channel. Some channels we have more people. Like here we have how many? 8 people in this channel because we need to discuss things related to this project and we have 8 people participating. This is the app, that web application that is installed, but it can also be used in your browser. So this is the one that Ken is the owner. This is the Agile Princeton Slack channel. Were you saying something? So there are also channels here, but this one works in my browser. So it's up to you guys how you want to use it in your, install it on your computer or on your phone or just in the browser. What I do is, for example, my company Slack, I'm using as an app, but the ones that where I'm just invited as a guest, I am using in my browser. So these are channels. Maybe this is a good example. How many people we have here? What would be the right way to see, Ken, the number of people in this group?
It's, Natalie, it looks like it's, if you go up to the hashtag general, there you are, and scroll right.
Yep.
So general is you don't have to add people. They are added by default once they accept the invite, right?
Yes.
Okay, so everyone who accepts the invite is automatically added by Slack to this general channel. All the other channels, you have to allow them to be in that channel, right, Ken?
It depends. There's 2 types of channels. Like for the Agile Princeton, you'll see one has a lock on it, and that's the organizers. So it's only, you only can get in there by invitation.
Interesting.
The ones
okay.
that don't have locks on them, people can go in and search and find the channel, then subscribe themselves, or you can invite them to them. Yep.
What we can do in within the channels, for example, here we also have a channel for jobs and job seekers on Princeton Agile, where if any job opportunity comes someone's way, they go and post it here for others to see. And also, if you're looking for a job, you can say it's here on this channel. And there is also such a thing that is called a thread, which is if I'm looking at some message here and I want specifically to create a branch, kind of, right? It's kind of a branch from the
It's
channel.
like a reply. You're replying to that particular message, so you can create a thread of conversation around it. Yep.
Yeah, so I move my mouse over this message. It seems interesting to me. And as I move it over, I see some controls appearing. And one is adding reaction. I'm usually using this to indicate that I've read this message. I'm usually adding like a thumbs up, which means that I've read this message. But other controls are reply in a thread, which means that from the whole conversation that's going on in these channels, it may go on for months or for years. If I want specifically to reply to this one, I say reply in a thread. what happens is on the right, it shows to me as a thread, this particular message, and I can reply to it. Either it will only appear as a thread, as a kind of a branching off, or I also want to indicate, let it also appear in the main channel. So let me say test. I hope Chris will not feel frustrated. Let me also show it in the main channel. I'm clicking enter. So it is both here in the thread, and I can go to threads and see whatever threads we have, but it should also show in the channel as well. Yeah, it shows us Natalie replied to a thread. My name is Steve Johnson. If I click on it, I'm brought to this thread on the right. I'm already here. So these are the threads which are separate from channels. Any particular questions, guys, on the Slack?
There's one other thing that may help you there, Natalie. So if you mouse over that test that you typed in.
Here? Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and you'll see the ... on the right-hand side.
Mm-hmm.
There's a delete option.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
So there you go.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Help you clean it up a little. You can edit as well.
Yeah, sorry for clogging. So this is the Slack. The good thing about Slack is, especially if you install it in your phone as well, it pops up, it gives you notifications immediately if someone writes something, especially if people mention your name. Like, for example, do you remember, Ken, anyone mentioning? Yeah, for example, here, I was writing this message, I mentioned Trupti's name, and in their browser, they saw a red star here indicating that someone mentioned them by name. Same thing happens in my company Slack, and same thing, you will also immediately see a notification on your phone. This helps you stay always connected, which is really important. Today, one of the important things is, if we're getting back to the Vikings idea, with Vikings, it was critically important to be strong physically. Today, it is critically important to stay connected. Slack ensures this, although it glitches sometimes. Sometimes I don't receive these notifications on my phone, but it depends on the phone as well. I'm still on Huawei, and my partner always tells, you should throw away your Huawei and buy American.
So may I ask, and if you answered this already, I'm sorry I came in late, then just ignore me for now. So I see this as a communication, basically, rather than things getting lost in your email and email threads going back and forth. Is this specifically just for communication, or is that one of the things that Slack does?
So writing messages is one of the things. You can also have calls. For example, I can start a video call. Let's say I go to this channel, and how do I create a video call? Can you remind me? That people can you remind me how I can start a video call with this channel?
I honestly I usually use something else for that, but there's an option, I believe it's one of the dot options, but I don't know, honestly. I've never tried that. So
yeah, so I'm usually added to someone else's call. You can you can create a call here with some people.
It's definitely a communication tool.
Okay, so definitely it is here. Let's say if I have 2 people, I can have a call, initiate a call with these people here.
Yeah.
So this is another thing. And on Slack, I guess the difference between free plan and a paid plan is, with a free plan, you can only have calls one-on-one. But on a paid account, you can have multiple people on one call. And you can also share the screen, similar to what we're doing here on Zoom.
Right.
In terms of performance, Zoom proves better, really.
Yeah, and the other thing is for this, like for that direct messages, right, which is kind of what you're showing right now, where you can go in and you can start a conversation with somebody. You've got the ability in there to start it with more than one person. So for instance, if I wanted to set up a conversation in Slack with Natalie and Marla, I can do direct message conversations with both of them.
Yeah, so you can add people, I guess, right? I can call Andrew and then add people, for example, or I
Yeah.
can, yeah. Whether I can have a call within a channel, maybe I really can't. Yeah, so maybe I cannot start a call from the channel. I can only start a call from based on a real person I'm choosing. Because this is where we do have this call button.
Right.
So yeah, we also can exchange files here. I can add a file here. So file exchange is one, conversations, calls. In terms of licensing, there is a free account which has its own limitations. We, for example, are on a paid account. With a paid account, you have some more features. Licensing is about $6 to $7 per user per month. Okay. Anything else about Slack?
Yes,
Mm-hmm.
Natalie, this is Ann. I just wanted to find out. I actually belong to another meetup, and they told me that I can get in contact with them by just going to Slack.
Mm-hmm.
I received a link, and I clicked on it, and it took me to the actual, to the meetup that I wanted to see whatever comments they had in there. But am I part of the channel under general? Because I didn't need an invite. I just clicked on the URL that they sent to me, a link.
Okay, so Ken, is it necessary to have an invite, or you can just join by clicking the link?
I think it depends. I'm not sure. I think it depends upon how the person sets up the Slack. You know, with Princeton Agility or Agility Princeton, I guess we're calling it Agile Princeton, is the actual Slack channel. We leave it pretty open. You might be able to just, log in via Slack and find it. What I typically, though, is I create a public link because we're a very public group. I can create a public link to them, which allows people to join. For example, tonight when we have our meetup, what I'll do is I'll post that in there for people so that way they can just join using the link. Or you can actually send out invites to individuals if you want as well. I don't know if that answered the question, though.
Mm-hmm. So there are
Okay.
different, it depends on the setup, how it is set up. Of course, you cannot just join my company Slack. Definitely no. But you can set it up to be more open, like with Ken.
So now if she got an invitation and she's in general, like you said, so she would be one of the 106 up above, then would she have access to all of the other channels that are unlocked?
Yeah, like Ken said, yeah, every channel that is unlocked, she can access, but the locked one, she has to be invited.
Invited,
Yeah, you have to search
okay.
for them, though. So if you go into, if you mouse up next to the word channels.
What? Sorry?
Go up a little bit further. Mouse over channels.
Hover over
The word
channels.
channels.
There you go.
Uh-huh.
See the plus sign to the right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Browse. Mm-hmm.
So you can browse the channels and find them. They're not going to appear by default. You have to go looking for them sometimes. But it will list
Okay.
all the channels, so that way you can determine, what you want to connect to and what you don't. That'll
Okay.
tell you.
Yeah.
And the
And
ones that are locked, of course, you need an invite, like you're saying.
Yeah, the organizers, for example, in this case, is locked. I'm seriously consider unlocking it sometimes, but we'll talk about that during our next organizer session. But yeah, the rest of the stuff is public, that you can just subscribe to whatever channel you want to see. So that way you're not inundated with things if you don't want to see them, but you can get in if you want to. But they don't appear by default. You have to go looking for them.
Okay.
mm-hmm.
Great. And Natalie, I just want to do a quick time check. We can continue, but I just want to let you know that it's 1:55.
So yeah, I
1:56.
suggest, guys, that we start wrapping up. We definitely stay in touch if you can, if you want to know more, to have another session on, let's say, comparing Teams and Slacks, we can do it. For now, what I really would like to do, if we can spend some 5 to 10 minutes on Marla showing the polling tools. That would be great. 1 second. Let me stop
Or
sharing.
actually, this is, I believe it's scheduled to end in like a few minutes. So should we just go to the slide and you can?
So to me, it's okay if we stay a little bit longer, like 5 minutes longer. I just really wanted you to show the polling things.
Oops. Okay, great.
So
Let me pull that
whoever
up.
can stay, this is something fun and exciting that Marla is going to show us.
And this is something, Ken, you are the star, one of the stars of the hour. This is something, oh, you have a hard stop. Okay. This is something I learned in the Princeton Agility group that Ken had shared. I'm just trying to find it here. So this is a great tool. This is called Slido. And like with any of these apps, right, there's always the free version. And as someone once told me, who's a product manager, anytime you get something for free, you are the product, right? So they're gathering data on how you're using it and how it's working. And then if there are any upgrades you want to make, then you need to pay for it. So it's very easy to open a free Slido account. And this is great. I'm just going to minimize this for doing polls, surveys, quizzes. And so I thought I was just going to do a quick one just to show you how it works. When you go into Slido, we're now in there and I'm already signed in. We're just going to create something really quick. I'll do something from scratch, right? I'll just say test 2. You will create so the idea is, let's say you want to get a poll on, and we actually will conduct a poll on future topics for workshops, but first we'll just do a really quick, fun one. This is showing that, this is the setup and test, this is the start date today, and then as a free account, I have access to the analytics and results until January 30th, but you can change any of these. There's an event code that you can use to send if you need to do it that way for people to access the survey. I'm going to go ahead and schedule this. I now get options, right? I can create, and you'll see on the left the different options and then samples that they give on the right. You can do a multiple choice, a word cloud, where the more answers, the answer or possibility that gets the most responses shows up as bigger. You can conduct a quiz. You can get ratings, ranking. And so I'm seeing chats and I'm just trying to, let me make sure. Okay. So I thought what we could do is I'm going to do a ranking, and I'm going to just ask a fun thing, and I'm going to say, and this is assuming there's no COVID, right? Big assumption, but let's just assume everything's safe. List, rank in order the countries you would like to visit most. And then I'm just going to add an option. I'll say France, I'll say Morocco, I'll say Thailand, and I will say Argentina, and let's throw in Australia. I'm going to go ahead and save this, and let's see. Hang on, I got to move this. Whoops. Just going to look at this. I need to find my poll. I should have launched it, but let me find. So here we have test 2. And you can see this button here. And this will activate the poll, and then at any time I can deactivate it. So I'm going to go ahead and activate it. And then bear with me. I've used this once before. And
so
there is a way to share this. Yeah. I'm looking for where to share.
To share with us, right? Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
These are results.
Can you share it from here, or do you have to use the link?
Here we
Sure,
go.
sure.
Oh, there you
There
go.
we go. So you go here, 3 dots, share, and I'm going to go ahead and give the direct link. So I click on that. It says copy to clipboard. I'm going to go in the chat, and I'm going to share this with all of you.
Huh, so cool.
Everyone can click on the link.
Let's
I'm going
choose
to
the
close
content.
this. And everyone rank in order, and you'll see how that works, and you can actually change your rankings as you do it. There we go. Can everyone see this?
Lovely experience.
Wow, a lot of people want to go to Australia. It's changing. France, Thailand is not big on people's. Here we go. More people
I've
are.
actually been to Australia and I want to go back.
I've been as well. I went to Morocco. Highly recommend it.
That was my second choice.
Australia just bumped it up, but my sell on Morocco didn't work. All right.
It's lovely to see how in real time the results are changing, right?
So that's just something that you can use. Should I quickly show Google Forms real quickly? I mean, this is something that's so easy to go on and just play around with. Oh, there Morocco just went back up. Okay, Google Forms is accessible to anyone who has a Google account. And so I went into here. If you just go into Google and you type Google Forms and click on the link, this is what will appear. I'm already signed into my Google account, as you can see. So I'm going to click Personal, go to Google Forms, and I'll show you real quickly. There's a template gallery. So what is the purpose of Google Forms? Anytime this is also a way that you can conduct a survey, that you can, oh, you know what, Natalie, I was thinking I should have done, here, I'm going to share one thing. Bear with me. I'm going to go back to Slido. Bear with me. I'm going to go to this. We may as well, right? It's open.
Now, when you're
going to,
when you're in Slido and you get the results, can you only see the aggregated results, or can you see the separate, each person's response?
I think just the aggregated.
Okay.
And oh, here we are. So I'm trying to find the chat because I'm in presenter mode. Here we go. Let me go in the chat. And I'm going to put this in here. Whoops. This is another survey for future topics. So actually, if everyone could, maybe we could take a quick look. If people can quickly rank those. Is this a good time to do that, Natalie? Did everyone see the link in the chat? And also, I want to just see if we're losing people. Can you see how many people we have?
Pretty much everyone.
Okay. Great.
So I don't know if guys, you can quickly choose the topic of interest for the future webinar, workshop, I mean. Maybe we can use this chance right now.
Oh, I'm sorry, my bad. Activate the poll. There we go. So we're seeing.
I was in there.
Okay, that's interesting.
I already answered.
The
Sorry,
question
guys.
is, Marla, that once you click on a selection, for example, project management, it changes over to it goes to the next one without me selecting it. So is that how it works? Like the survey that you're doing right now for the workshops?
I think I don't know if I'm understanding right, but I think how it should work is that you would go to the one that you want to rank as #1 first, and then that'll move up, and then you're left with the rest. And then you click on the next one for second, and so on and so on. But if you at any point look at it and you're like, no, I want to change one of them, you'll click on that and it'll move back down and you can re-rank things.
Okay, let me try it again. Yes, let me try it again.
Yes, you pick them in order and it populates 1 through 6. And then, like you said, Marla, it's a little bit harder you have to undo a certain number of them to get to the order that you want if you change your mind. It depends how many changes, how many you have to undo. Which I had to do on the last one.
Based on what people have responded for so far, I want to say you're all in good luck because, and we have the workshop facilitator on here, Dan Newmark. We are going to be doing storytelling with PowerPoint on February 10th. So I'm really happy to see, based on whoever ranked, that is still showing up as number one. That was something that people were very interested in at the last workshop. So hopefully everyone, I don't know, it looks like hopefully everyone got a chance to vote. And should I continue with Google Forms real quick, or what do you think, Natalie?
Probably we can do Google Forms next time. So I guess this should be, yeah. But this Slido is really fun, isn't it?
Yes, it is.
And it's easy, which is nice.
And I really like how the results update in real time, right?
In real
front of
time,
our
yes.
eyes. It's fun. It's fun.
It's nice for the participants to see the results.
Right, and because like Marla is sharing her screen. Okay, so I guess thank you everyone for your participation. Hope to see you again soon. Actually, Barbara, maybe a couple of words about our meeting tomorrow, the club meeting.
Sure.
And I can share the link.
So guys, we are having a fun meeting tomorrow, a club meeting we call it, or maybe let's call it happy hour or something. We're not going to drink actually anything. But the fun part here is we are going to do it not on Zoom, but on another interesting platform. And Barbara, our explorer in chief.
I like that title.
So yeah, let's rename it Explorer in Chief. She is going to introduce us to a new platform which no one has ever used before. I mean, from all of us, I have not. And we will be using it for the first time. We used yet another platform a month ago on Christmas. And this time we are going to use another one, a new one. It's going to be fun. Where can Kishin, Jennifer, and Stuart and Anne can find information about this event tomorrow, guys?
I just put it in the chat. It says club meeting link. And so we do have it set up as an event on Meetup.
So there will be all the information, right?
How
to enter this platform, all the information there.
Yes, and we're going to be providing the password after. So please, I don't know where people see their Meetup messages when they come from the organizers. It may go in your social tab, your promotions tab, but I have all of that explained in the event description. So
it's possible, if I recall correctly, that people don't get, they can have the email turned off. So they would just have to go find it. How would that work? Well, we can talk about that offline.
Yeah, so just enter your account on meetup.com, and within the notifications or messages, there should be a star showing that there is something new for you, and check it out.
Yeah.
So hopefully we will see each other tomorrow at the club meeting if you guys can make it.
All right.
See you next time.
Okay. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye now.
Bye, everyone.
Bye-bye.
Bye.